welcome back to Monster Gaming. I was going to do a really quick video. Might do another one later today since I have the day off. But I wanted to talk about the Dwarf age. I'm getting really close to getting out of it, but there's one limitation which I'm going to talk about and something to be aware of. So I completed all of these and it's been fun. A lot of these are very similar to what you already have. But there's a nice amount of stuff here. I'm just going to click on one of these. I'm just not going to show you. So I got to click on one that I haven't finished yet. So these ones I have all the KPs for, the knowledge points, but I don't have enough resources to finish them. So you'll find that basically all of these in this age are going to require these two things, which is, I don't know, it looks like coal or something. I forget what it is. And then copper. But we'll go back because you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So you're going to need, I was actually asked by another person in our fellowship how much space you're going to need, because every chapter of a guest race, it's add-on. You're not upgrading your residences to their residences. It's separate, completely separate, which is also good because when you build up their things, you're not using population because they have population that they're providing for you. So make sure you know that it's a separate thing. So let me click over here. So this is the Dwarven portal. So this is what allows the dwarves to show up. I'll zoom in a little bit more. I just upgraded it to the 4th level, which I think is the highest level. And the game kind of forces you to do that. So I was collecting, and then I'm like, wait a second, I filled up, can't do anything else, what's going on? So I'm going to click info. So this is very important. So your Dwarven portal is what's going to allow you to have your dwarves show up, right? Oh, it's granite and copper. So this holds up to 160k in granite, and copper is 3,400. I believe at level 3, it holds somewhere around 100, maybe 120. And for copper, it's somewhere close to like 2,000 or something. It's a pretty big difference. Just like in any of the chapters, you do need to get this maxed to be able to complete the chapter. You don't need to max it immediately, but you do need to prepare yourself that eventually I am going to have to max the portal because some of the later tasks that you do for the chapter we're going to require a lot more of those goods. So if you can't actually hold them in your storage, then you're not going to be able to complete the tasks. So just be mindful of that. This one maxed out at a 5x5, so it actually gets pretty big. I think it starts at like a 3x3 at the smallest, and then it kind of grows a little bit bigger. So these are the buildings here. I think this is a level 1, so it looks like that. See how many coppers you get in a day? 31 per day. This is very little compared to anything else that you might have. Obviously, this is just a level 1. But that's still very, very little. And that's just giving you an idea of production. This doesn't produce automatically. Just like your your workshops, you have to do an activity, an action. Like this one, I'm doing bread. But over here, let's see, this is a level 2, 45 a day. So copper coins, this one will give you 15. I think the other one was giving you 10. And then this is a level 3 copper coins. This one will give you 20. And it's 3 hours is the minimum, just like on the other one. Now, the interesting thing, though, when you're producing in the copper foundry, you're going to be using the 2 basic goods that are not your boosted goods. So in the past, you might not have used those that often other than in like tournaments, events, and things like that. But to progress in the game, you really don't need them that much. Be very mindful that you are going to be using those 2 to produce copper. Versus if you went here, this would take coins. Sorry, that's not the right example. If you were to go here and produce something here, you're using gold and tools. So this is for all your regular manufacturing buildings. At the beginning of the game, yes, they're going to use up a lot of tools. As you keep leveling up, they're going to use a lot more tools and gold. So that's kind of why you want to make sure you have a good amount of both. This is another level up. So this one, you're going to be using your basic goods that are not boosted. So just make sure that you have a good amounts of those, and that you have a way to produce them. I would say trade for whatever you need, but you can play how you like. I have a previous video on catering or military city. I cater and I trade, so I always can kind of keep an eye on what I'm getting. I try to get stuff for a profit, etc. All right, so the second building looks like this, which is the granite mine. So the granite mine is like your residences, where it's constantly producing, and then periodically you can, once you reach the little hand thing there, you can actually start collecting the goods. This one is 96 an hour, so the granite produces about 7-8 times more than copper. I think these are all the same level. Yeah. Full production time is 10 hours is when it's going to reach capacity. So, like I said, you're going to go here and you're going to be looking to complete some of these things. So whenever you look at these, the granite is always going to be a very, very high number. And then the copper is not going to be as high, and you're going to be like, oh, 1800, it's not that difficult to produce. But yeah, it is. It's going to take you a while. So let me see how many you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a granite mine level 2. So they definitely recommend to have between 8 and 10 of the granite mines if you have the space for it. And how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And somewhere around 8 to 10 in copper. So you have a good production going. If you have a lot less than that, it's going to take you a lot longer to complete this chapter. And basically because those are the only ways to get those goods. They are not goods from your world, so you cannot trade for them. You cannot buy them from the wholesaler. So be very, very cognizant that all the production that you can make to complete this chapter and to fulfill these tasks are done by you. You're not going to be able to get them anywhere else. So yeah, it's going to take you a little while to be able to upgrade these. They basically take gold and tools to upgrade. They're not too expensive, maybe like 20, 30K of each, which at this point of the game, you should be able to have a good amount of gold and tools. So the upgrading part isn't super expensive, but it's going to take a while to produce what you want to produce. So that's kind of what's going to hold you back a little bit, is that it's producing slowly. You're not going to be able to do these amazing trades like you could with other goods to ramp up. So you just kind of take your time. You're also going to see these little roads here. They kind of look like a little trolley or little train tracks. Those are their roads, so you're going to need to connect all their buildings to the portal, which is kind of like their town hall, and make sure that they're all connected. Those roads definitely cost a lot more than your regular roads, but you should have plenty of resources to handle that. So I would say you would need about 9 squares. If you can afford more than that, then open up more space and do that. I think I'm pretty good here. I mean, I think I could expand further. I have more space down here, but the buildings are not that big. So, I mean, I guess I could push everything back a little bit and maybe fit more, but I think I'm good for now. I'm probably going to work on this one soon. Uh, that's just for my own design preferences. I think I'm going to start building out this way. I think I've gone far enough on the side of the map. But, oh, that's the other thing is if you're making that space, put them all in the same area because eventually you're going to have to tear it all up basically to start the next chapter. Um, so if you can, just make those nine to 10 spaces all in the same area. So 100% you need to do that anyways because you have the roads. But you don't want to have these random roads going all over the place and things spreading out crazy. Try to put them all in the same area, make it work. Not much more to say about that. It is fun. It's interesting looking at two more goods and two more resources. I mean, to try to work with, and knowing that they're going to produce way slower than everything else. You still want to do your quests. You still want to do your dailies. You still want to get things done. And I think it looks really cool. This looks completely different to anything else you already have out there. And at the end of this age, you're going to unlock a couple more Ancient Wonders that are really cool. I think one of them I'm going to do. But I'm actually more excited about the next age, which is the fairies. Only because that adds a dynamic of like a day and night production, where one needs production from one building to make the higher end production of the other building. So you're going to have to keep a nice balance between the two. They have farm looking buildings, which I think are awesome. I love farming games, and I like that aesthetic. I think it's going to take me longer, perhaps, to complete that chapter versus this one. This is a very simple, here's two new resources, here's some space that you need to have put together for these guys, and just produce, and then complete things. I think later chapters are going to be a little bit more involved. This is kind of like a very basic thing, so I'm very, very excited to get into that. But I just upgraded my portal, so even though it's going to give me more capacity, I still need to wait for some of the stuff to produce for me, and this cost resources to upgrade that of the two resources as well. Oh, that's the other thing. When you're upgrading the portal, it's going to require granite and copper as well. So it'll kind of set you back a little bit, but it's a must. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Let's see. See, that's really, really cool. And all the artwork is just amazing. And the portal's tiny. It looks interesting, and then it looks more interesting. It's really cool. Artwork is definitely one of the key things of this game. That brings me back to this game. I think everything looks so unique and so awesome. What was the other thing? Oh, and then I changed the building that was here to this one, which is interesting because I saw another person with that, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool, not realizing I had it too. And this works much better than what I had before. But anyways, that was all. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Dwarf Age. Make sure you have space. Make sure you have secondary basic goods producing well for you, because you're going to need them. And just have fun with it. And know that it's going to take you a little bit of time. So the more buildings you have, the quicker it might go for you. And just enjoy it. And then this is where you're starting with all the guest races. They're all unique, so I don't like like I said, I don't like to skip forward. I'll look a little bit forward, like to the next chapter, because there's always like little tips and suggestions, just like this video, to kind of help you get prepared for them. And I know there's a bunch of other chapters. I'm aware of them, but I'm going to take it, little by little. Once I get into that one, hopefully in another week, and I start kind of figuring that one out, I'll definitely do another video just to give you some info on that one, which is really cool. Great artwork. So that was all. Good luck. If you have any other tips for people, put it below. If you have any other questions about the Dwarf chapter, let me know too. Thank you.